What's up, guys? Welcome to our show. Today we discuss about social media, how you can grow your social media accounts to get sales, traffic, brand awareness, anything. And I'm excited to discuss this topic with Ali Shah. How are you?
I'm great, Anatoly. How are you?
Yeah, I'm doing great. For me, it's a big pleasure because I remember all your valuable insights that you shared the first time in our episode. So I decided to invite you one more time, to get more value. And yeah, I know that you are sick a little bit, so that's cool, that you can share value at any time. For me, I have some similar attitudes, because if I love what I do, I can do it at any
Anytime.
circumstances.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for
Okay.
inviting me again. I appreciate it.
Okay, can you remind our audience about you, your experience, background, about your company, tapereal.com, how it can help others to grow their social media?
Sure. So I have a background in analytics, mostly web and mobile analytics. And through that experience, I really gained an understanding on how you can use data to better understand customers and people visiting your website and apps. And it really gave me some insight into understanding user behavior online. And based on that, I've launched a couple of startups prior to Tapereel. And each time, it's been a learning process. Went through some failures, learned along the way. And now I'm, as you mentioned, the founder of tapereel.com. It's a social audio video platform for people to be authentic and express themselves in a meaningful way. And they can
Mhm.
also monetize their exclusive content through Tapereel as well.
Nice, nice. Because people often ask me, about monetization, how they can earn money, with their social media accounts. So I'm looking for this ways as well. For example, I have my main services to sell SEO to help others to get SEO traffic. But I sometimes I have sponsors who can pay me for these live streams. Why not?
Hmm.
I can take
Yeah,
like passive income.
right.
uh, yeah, Hrefs paid me for 15 episodes, so that's cool, to get passive income like this. Okay, I'm interested about social media. For example, what kind of future are you expecting when we have the news about metaverse, about Web 3.0, and many other stuff? Do we need to pay attention today on social media because some new platforms can replace existing ones, like they will be obsolete in some day? What do you think about that?
That's a great question, Anatoly. And I personally think the metaverse is a whole bunch of bullshit, and it actually it is so far removed from the human experience. It is not something that I think it's actually quite dystopian. If
Hmm.
that is the future of social media, it's very dystopian. You can watch a Black Mirror episode on Netflix, and you'll probably see the same thing that you would see in the metaverse. So I think the metaverse is just a distraction for a company like Facebook to basically get people's minds off of uh, the issues that
Hmm.
they should be taking accountability and responsibility for.
Hmm.
And Web3 as well. The crypto space, while it has some potential, and from an ideological perspective, I think uh, it's got a vision for the future, which is something that we should aspire to, being decentralization. But at the same time, I think I recently read in an article that a friend of mine had shared with me, Art had shared with me, and I think it was saying that only 17% of people actually are involved in the Web3 or have an understanding of what it all is. So that's a very small percentage of the population. The vast majority of people that I know, that I connect with on a day-to-day basis, you're either in that deeply entrenched in that community, and then you create this bubble around you and you think that that's the future, or if you talk to regular people, most people, I mean, they might have heard about it, or they might drop $500 to buy something just because they feel like they're going to miss out. But in the grand scheme of things, I don't think Web3 is the future for social media either. Um,
Mm-hmm. Interesting. Interesting. Mark Zuckerberg invested 10 billion dollars, to metaverse, and around 7 years, if I know, yeah, if I remember correctly, these numbers, yeah, it's a lot. And okay, Mark, you can watch this episode on Facebook. I have this live stream.
yeah,
You can learn how to waste a lot of money because for example, for me, it's hard to predict the future. When
mhm,
I know about that because when I'm playing with trading or investing or crypto, I in most cases I failed. I got it. It's not my experience, and
right.
yeah, I want to get a passive income, but when I read all these forecasts and I don't know what things will be. So yeah, it's not
It's
my
a lot of
the be-
hype,
yeah, but I can tell only one thing. Uh, if you have experience today on social media, it doesn't matter what kind of social media you have this experience, you can adapt much faster in a new environment. If we get new environment, for example, if you have experience with TikTok, Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, you can adapt faster than your competitors. You even if we have this new environment. If not, I think even existing social media can change something, bring new features, new attitudes. So experience can help to overcome all these obstacles that we can find on our way. Because yeah, for me, it's the best thing that you can get to gain followers, to gain a loyal audience, and then you can lead your followers to a new environment if we get it. So for me, it doesn't matter what future will be, just keep growing, keep going ahead with something that we have today. Yeah, it's
right?
it's my point of view.
Yeah.
Okay. Mhm. I have the question about growing on social media. Can you provide insights how today to grow social media without any illegal methods that we have, black methods? I mean, like how to get a real loyal audience.
Well, it's not easy to grow an audience, especially now, because a lot of the social media platforms are already established and there's a lot of noise on there. I think uh, the original objective for these platforms was to allow people to connect and share authentically. But I think it has uh, evolved, and now those platforms, because they're so established, because they have so many influencers on there, it's becoming more of a entertainment type
Mhm.
uh, place for entertainment to fill your time. Throughout the day, you have 5 minutes. Okay, you'll check what's on Instagram, or you check on whatever other feed. um,
Mhm.
so because there's a lot of noise on these platforms, I think it's difficult to grow your audience. And if you do decide, uh like, you choose one platform that you want to focus on, I think that is a better strategy rather than trying to you know um, grow on all the platforms at the same time. So
Mhm.
if you feel like you are getting better engagement on Twitter or Instagram or even Tapereel, double down on it and focus focus there exclusively before you venture out into other social platforms. So, with Instagram, I find that a lot, and a lot of the people on Instagram have been complaining about this as well, is that it's changed. It used to be a place for photography, and now all you see on your timeline is videos and reels, and
Mhm.
it's completely evolved into a video platform. So I feel like they're actually doing a disservice to members of their community who originally joined for the sake of photography. And
Mhm.
then the changes in their algorithm is keeping people guessing all the time. And I personally think that uh, creators who always have to adapt to the algorithm can sometimes face burnout. And
Mhm.
it's, like, you're always chasing that next like, that next follower, and it can become difficult.
Mhm.
But and looking at this as a problem, like a problem for people creating on these platforms, because for the platform, it's actually a benefit because it'll keep you engaged more. It'll keep the content coming, so they will make money off of your engagement, off of your content, off of the ad revenue that they're able to generate. But it does a disservice for the people in the community, and
Mm-hmm.
that's one of the problems that I wanted to step back and take a look at Tape Reel. Is like, okay, creating is a good thing, but it can also add more unnecessary noise into a platform when you are forcing people to say, oh, you have to post 4 reels a week, 5 pictures, and 3 IG videos in order to crack the algorithm. And so creators, like, there's only so much content you can possibly create, right? So
Mm-hmm.
you're just going to create fluffy content, or maybe the value of the content diminishes, and suddenly
Mm-hmm.
now you've got, like, just garbage content out there for the sake of appeasing an algorithm, as opposed to, hey, I'm a creator, I want to focus on my art, I want to focus on what it means to actually create, what is important, what is meaningful, and then use that as a medium of expression on a platform that will value it. And that's what we're trying to build at Tape Reel too, is allowing people to just be themselves, to not have to worry about an algorithm. And if you want to grow your followers, we've got a different business model. We don't have ads. We've got like a discovery feature on the app where you can swipe right to follow someone and swipe left, kind of like Tinder. And if you want to appear higher on that, you can purchase a monthly plan to help you grow your audience, almost like on autopilot, as opposed to the traditional social media platforms. So I think growth on social media uh, comes from generating high value content at the end of the day, and
Mm-hmm.
engaging with your audience in a meaningful way. And those are the things that we're trying to solve for on Tape Reel. um, because we're not saying, hey, publish 10 pieces of content a day, and to get visibility on the platform. Otherwise we're just gonna limit your reach. I don't think that's fair to the creator. I don't think that's fair to the audience.
Mm-hmm.
And I think the traditional social media platforms are basically driven by this business model of, how do we keep you engaged as long as possible so that we can generate more revenue.
Love it. Yeah, I agree with you. I think, content creators need to enjoy the process. If they dislike the process, for example, if it hurts their feeling to film 10 times a day or write 10 posts a day, yes, it's better to avoid it. But if you love it, if you can film 10 times a day, 20 times a day, if you can write a lot to share, because I found a few Twitter accounts that retweet, I don't know, like 100 times a day. They love it, So if you can go ahead with such consistency, why not? You can do it because quantity can convert to quality as well. But
Hmm.
it's not about forcing, that you need to do because someone is doing that. You
Yeah.
can have other priorities. I know some content creators can post one time a month and they have 100 followers because other priorities can bring their audience. So I think, yeah, if you have some actions outside on social media, then do it. I remember, yeah, I found a few companies that earn like 100 million revenue each year, and they have like 1,000 followers on social media
Yeah.
because of other priorities.
Right.
That's okay. No worries
Yeah.
about that. Don't compare with others. For example, I love it. I love the process to post on social media, to go ahead with that. It's my strong side. But
Hmm.
if I have 48 hours a day, I can post more. But it's only limited of my time. But I know when someone is complaining, I can't do it. Okay, do something else. Why not?
That's a very valid point, and a lot of times we kind of feel like if you're not on social media, like, there's no other way to promote your business. There's no other way to grow.
Yeah.
And when you look at marketing mix,
Hmm.
there's obviously, there's even like print advertising, there's online ads, there's out of home advertising like billboards, there's television advertising. And many times for awareness purposes, those channels might work better than social media. Like advertising in
Mhm.
your local paper that gets circulated to 50,000 people might generate more leads than than advertising on social media. Social media should be part of the mix of your marketing mix. It doesn't have to be the only thing that's in your marketing objective. So yeah,
Yeah.
definitely, I
To-
agree with you there.
Yeah, paid marketing brings a lot more, and it's not the number of clicks; it's more the quality of these clicks.
Absolutely,
Yeah,
absolutely, yeah.
because some marketing campaigns, can bring like 100 clicks, but a lot of revenue, with this 100 clicks. So yeah, it depends on priorities. Can you tell how to create a social media strategy if someone wanna grow their social media accounts? How to create, for example, considering that we discussed that you don't need to force, you need to consider your priorities, but to create this social media strategy, what do you think?
That's a very good question. I think a social media strategy should be tailored to the audience that you are going after.
Hmm.
I think every audience has different needs, different requirements. So if the first thing you want to look at is who is your target audience and what type of messaging do they like? What type of, I mean, your target audience might be, fanatics for memes. And by you posting memes, you're getting high engagement, and you can reach out to them, and it resonates with them.
Hmm.
But if your audience is more mature, uh, targeted towards professionals, you need to tweak your strategy accordingly on social media. You need to go. Maybe there's certain groups that they're a part of, certain lists that you can target. So I would start with the audience and then work your way from there in terms of forming an actual strategy. Some people don't like to be like you don't want to hear from that company like 5 times a week. You know what I mean? Sometimes you might be overdoing it. Yeah, so you kind of have to test the sweet spot. Like how often can I post that I'll get some engagement, and versus posting all the time and almost overdoing it. Like there are certain channels where I see high levels of engagement, even on LinkedIn. Like there's I think an internet security company that always posts some really funny memes, and the developer community loves it because they're just so funny, and they get high engagement all the time, and so they're posting
Hmm.
consistently. Um, there's other companies where they post once a week, and for them that's enough because their brand or their company is posting something that's more meaningful to their audience, according to what their audience needs are. Um, the other thing about the strategy, I think, is like when I look at like the current state of social media, like Instagram and Facebook and TikTok even, um, and TikTok especially, because it's such short pieces of content and it's very quick. It's that instant sort of like dopamine content. Based on some of the analytics that I've seen for some of the companies that I've consulted for, the quality of leads that you get from TikTok are actually very low. They have high
Hmm.
bounce rates. People, because you have to think about it, the mindset that people are in on TikTok is quick. I'm just want to fill in the portion of my day with these little quick little pieces of content. Something to make me laugh, or uh, and then I'm gonna turn it off and go away. They're not there to be like, oh, I'm gonna discover a new product when I'm on this platform, or I'm gonna learn something about this new business. It's just very short and quick. And so, as an advertising channel, I know TikTok gets promoted quite a bit because they do have the obviously the number of users, which helps makes a difference.
Hmm.
But at the same time, the quality that you're getting from there may not be as high. Like a 90% bounce rate is very high in the industry. Like for your ads, that's a very poor performing channel. But there are companies out there that are just pouring a lot of money into this. Now,
Mm-hmm.
if you are not worried about conversions and you're just thinking, okay, this is sort of an awareness channel for me, and I just want people to be aware of my brand, okay, maybe it's somewhat effective. But I have trouble even remembering the last TikTok that I saw. You know what I mean? Like the recall, the ability, because marketing, your ability, a marketing success is is based on your ability to recall that message. And if you can't
Mm-hmm.
recall like the message that you saw, the marketing has failed, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So I don't even remember the last TikTok I saw. I can't even remember the last TikTok ad that I saw. So the recall is clearly like almost next to zero, for me especially. And maybe there are other people out there that remember these things, but in my opinion, I think from a marketing acquisition standpoint or advertising channel, it's not as effective as people make it out to be. Um, so I don't know if I might have gone off there on a little bit of a tangent, but did I answer your question or?
Yeah, I think I agree. I remember when I read the book from Joe Sugarman, and he was one of the best marketers ever. And he wrote on his books that marketing brings more sales if people stay in your content longer. Longer they read, longer more sales you get. You
Right.
know, and yeah, I agree. On TikTok, when you watch the video 5, 10 seconds, like 15 seconds, yeah, I like this content. I can tell the place where I'm watching this content usually, but I can tell that it's entertainment, it's fun, but it's really difficult to remember.
Hmm.
All these videos. Yeah, funny. And I agree. Yeah, it's better to pay attention to channels that bring more sales, where you can keep customers longer and provide more value with that. But on TikTok, I think it's a good idea when you invest to a lot of videos, not 1, 2 videos. When you can get like 100 videos, short videos, and if it helps to create brand awareness and to sell products, why not?
Yeah.
And I opened on your website, tapereal.com. Interesting thing. Your mission to build a sustainable social media platform that is focused on meaningful content, human connection, and betterments of society. Can you tell more about meaningful content? I can explain why I'm asking about that. Because my audience often ask me about high quality content, how to measure quality of content. For me it's hard. For me quality, it's subjective. I can compare to existing content. If my content is better than existing content, I mean, like, to share more value, that means it's quality content. Yeah,
Hmm.
but it's hard to measure, like, pictures, text, context, and many other stuff. Just if it brings more value, so I think it's quality. But what about meaningful content? Can you explain more how we can create meaningful content?
Well, yeah, I think it's a part of our name, right? Tape Reel.
Hmm.
We're about the realness of what it means to be human, the
Hmm.
realness of the human experience. And I think that is sometimes lost in traditional social media. So,
Hmm.
you know, meaningful obviously means something different to everyone. Um, but at the end of the day, what I think meaningful is something that is not designed to go viral. Uh, Most of these platforms are everyone there is just trying to go viral because they want to be
Hmm.
famous. They want to get as many eyes on the on their content. And so when when you're making something to go viral, it requires a different recipe. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
Like that okay, I have to maybe do something outrageous or I have to do something completely outside of the normal sphere of the human experience for
Hmm.
people to like react to this or get angry at it or they're gonna like engage with it and that's gonna get more eyeballs on it. And so it comes down to, I guess, your intention. And I
Hmm.
think when you are creating meaningful content, you have to think about what your intention is. uh, what message do you want to put out there in the world? And if this message you are going to put out, is it something that you will be proud of 10, 20 years from now? Maybe grandkids will look at this message 20 years from now, will they be happy that, oh, look, my grandfather posted this content and this was actually very meaningful, and I got some insight into how this person was living or his thought processes, or uh, I think the most meaningful thing in life is the everyday human experience. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like, we all face our challenges. We all get up. We all have to focus on our diet. We have to focus on our wellness, on our ability to share and express ourselves, to ask questions. If we don't have, if we struggle with something, we should have a place where we can ask these questions and get answers from people who have more experience. Um, in the old days, when we used to live as tribes, there was a general hierarchy within the tribe. The elders, being the grandfathers and the grandmothers, uh, carried with them knowledge, and they would pass on that knowledge to future generations, so that they could be better equipped to deal with whatever they are dealing with in their lives.
Mm-hmm.
Simple knowledge could be like home remedies, or like what type of plants you can eat, not eat. All that stuff is something that it gets passed down from that hierarchy in a tribe. And I don't think we have that in social media per se, right? And so
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I believe that there should be a platform where people can just be themselves. They're not trying to go viral. They are there to learn from other people. They are there to consume content that they probably wouldn't get anywhere else. And that's part of what we built in terms of our monetization is, even like an influencer, for example, they have to post a certain version of themselves on Instagram or YouTube, and it's always that perfect, fully edited version. But then they've got this raw human side to them that they can say, "Hey, you know what? This is me on a day-to-day basis. You can come watch me on Tape Reel. It's an exclusive for my fans. This is the raw human side of me, and you can unlock this tape for." We've got an in-app currency called real coins, and you can unlock this tape for, I don't know, 10 real coins, 99 cents, or you decide the price, and the creator can keep their earnings. And so uh, I think that there is a space for authentic and meaningful content where people can not worry or stress about always trying to go viral, but they can show up, and actually, when they consume the content on our platform, they can walk away feeling like they learned something, like they can become a better person as a result of it. Now, I
Mm-hmm.
can't control, obviously. It's difficult because the internet is a vast pool, okay, and some of it is
Mm-hmm.
a cesspool. Like, there are people out there that will try to create, maybe negative content and stuff like that. It and I mean, that's part of the reason why we've been very intentional about the type of people that we're attracting to Tape Reel.
Mm-hmm.
The people who realize that, or that they're on this hamster wheel of creating content on other platforms, and they're struggling, and they're not really getting anywhere, and they just want a place where they can be themselves and share something that's meaningful, that will add value to other people's lives.
I understand. I love your goal, but we live in this world. It's not perfect world, and we, of course, I wanna be surrounded by positive people, but I have negative people as well, and many of
Yes.
them love sharing negative thoughts. They love to hurt others. I don't know if they feel much better after hurting. So it's their character. I don't want to criticize anything else. I think, yeah, if I was born like them, on their circumstances, with their parents, their customs, yeah, at that point I can be like them. So I just want to tell that this world is not perfect, and we have different characters, positive, negative. We have some fraud that can go to social media to create bots. For example, Elon Musk right now has this issue about Twitter that 20% of all social media accounts can be bots. Twitter denies that only less than 5%. I don't know. I don't know. Of course,
Hmm.
it's the world that we are living. And for example, I promote on Google. I know about a lot of I don't know, like many fraud software, malicious, something like this. Can you tell how TapeReal can take away all of this stuff, negative stuff, fraud, I don't know, like malicious anything, from
Hmm.
this platform, and leave only positive people who wanna be themselves. Even positive people can copy others. For example, I had this issue with myself. I tried to copy others. Yeah, I remember that I failed completely. I check out when I started my social media accounts. I found a few accounts that can get like 1 million views. I decided, oh, I can do it as well. I started to sing, to dance, but I couldn't do it.
Hmm.
I was failed. Yeah, that was the biggest failure. But I got experience that it's better to be myself. But I got it during some time, not because I know that. Yeah, I got experience that it's better to find another way. But I think people can test different characters and can copy others, and most of them are copying others. Can you tell how to change this attitudes, and to explain people that on this platform you can be yourself, you can get high results. You don't need to chase a lot of followers, high engagement, just to be yourself. Yeah.
Hmm. Yeah. So I think one of the reasons why there is negativity or toxicity on traditional social
Hmm.
media is because it is a well understood fact that the more controversial and anger inducing your content is, the more engagement it will get, and the more engagement it gets, the more people will see it, and so when when people understand this, then their strategy will can potentially change, and they
Yeah.
now start doing things because they need to crack the algorithm or they have to get that engagement, and so they will say the most outlandish things from behind a keyboard. Um, so that's one aspect of the issue. Now, not everybody behaves like that on social media, of course. Um, the the second sort of thing, the way that we've thought about this at Tape Rail is that uh, we do have the ability for people to upload content, and this was because people in our community were asking for this ability. But one of the ways that you can create content on Tape Rail is you just press a button to start recording audio or video. And what it does, it just creates a unedited, raw, uncut stream of of your content. So if I want to record a little, let's say, short audio podcast, like a 5 minute rant or a 5 minute about my thoughts about reading a book or anything that, I mean, from my perspective, what I'm saying that based on what I create on Tape Reel, but other people will create it for their own sort of requirements. But I just tap the button and then I start speaking. And
Hmm.
one of the benefits of that is after you publish content that way, you're on the spot. You you play you publish it, and then what I noticed is when I play that content back, I can actually see and hear myself talk, and various parts uh, of my thoughts, like how are they flowing, are my sentence structures making sense? So it creates this positive feedback loop for myself to actually improve my speaking skills. And so
Hmm.
by creating content this way, even like when I'm creating a live video, I notice like I look away from the camera, or maybe I'm um, maybe certain way the way I'm speaking is not is appearing differently on camera, and by by ac- having this ability to record and publish it this way, I can actually uh, create this cycle of self improvement for myself. And I've noticed that, like,
Mhm.
it's made me a better speaker over time. It's given me the ability to articulate my thoughts in a better way. And so, while that is challenging for some people, because it's like, oh, we're in this culture where everything has to be like perfect and edited and everything. Um, uh, on tape reel, like, you don't have to worry about that, because that's the platform, the community that we have is people just coming online, pressing a button and recording and just speaking. Now what I do
Mhm.
sometimes to help me is, I might take some notes on like a sticky paper and just put them so that you have some sort of guide. um, because it's not everyone can speak like Jordan Peterson or other great orators out there. But this what I've noticed is that this actually has been helpful to me into becoming a better speaker over time. Um, so I don't know. Did that answer your question?
I think
Might
so.
have gone
Okay.
on a tangent as well.
I think it's a hard question, Even I can't reply to this question because, yeah, it depends as usual. Can you
Yeah.
tell about, uh, for example, if you have no experience, if you
Mhm.
started today without any experience, what would you do to grow on social media?
If you start today without any experience, so social media is a very it's obviously a broad term now, because there's a lot of platforms out
Hmm.
there. The Snapchat, Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, um, TikTok. Um, but if you were to start today, I think the most important thing is to think about your target audience
Hmm.
and to create high value content. Uh, I feel like, especially with stories, for example, um, as a feature, like, it created a lot of like very low started creating a lot of very low value content. People just started posting random stuff, like little bits of their day, or pictures or memes and stuff like that. And then it's really just it gives the ability to add more noise into the system. And I think, especially on in a post pandemic world, right? Once the pandemic hit, we're now seeing like a change in people's behaviors, people's mindsets. People are reevaluating how they've been, um, you know, uh, how they've been living for the past, 15, 20 years, and whether or not that is having a positive impact in the world, or like at least for me personally, it's given me an opportunity to really evaluate what I prioritize in my life.
Hmm.
And one of my goals was to reduce my screen time. Uh,
Hmm.
at one point it was like around 5 hours, but I know some people that have like 9 hours of screen time on their phones, which is like insane. Like, you know what I mean? Um,
Yeah.
and so, like, bringing that down was a goal of mine. And so, it's hard to obviously grow if you're not spending as much time on the platform. And that's part of
Hmm.
the reason why I like tape reel, is because it doesn't take so much out of me, out of my life in a day-to-day
Hmm.
basis. I don't feel like I'm missing out on something all the time. I feel like the people that are on there are genuine. They're starting to create, and we just need to continue to grow that community. Um, so, if I was to start today, I would say that, y- think about where the future is going to be for social media, because the
Hmm.
current state, you know, the the format, the short, quick formats are, I think they're more entertainment. They're not social media. I
Hmm.
mean, they're a form of media, but are they truly creating human connection? Probably not. It's just people filling their time, short little amounts of time during their day. Uh, is virality the main objective? All these platforms have algorithms, and what impact do those algorithms have on people and society? And I think that we are going through a shift in how we live, work, and play.
Hmm.
People are now more remote, and you know that culture of like, oh, I have to go to this special spot to create that Instagram worthy shot. You know what I mean? Like, is it's sort of dying down, and so I think we're going through an evolution as a species, and we have to think about how are we going to create and build a platform that is uh, different from traditional social media. Because if we do the same thing over again, we're just repeating the same cycle, and
Yeah,
by
I
repeating
agree.
the same cycle, we're not solving the problem. You know what I mean? Like, we gotta, like, knowing what we know about social media today and about all the effects that it's had on people's mental health, the focus, the creator burnout, the focus on, like, the ability for people to manipulate election results, all that stuff. Like, we know we've created this platform that allows you to do that. Now let's step back and say, if we want to solve for that and create a place that's more focused on human connection, sustainability, you know, Apple is a privacy focused company, like, hands down, like that. They've taken a stance against it, and they've basically taken a stance against all social media, because all social media thrives on data collection and the exploitation of your privacy for serving you ads. So the future, in my opinion, is going to be privacy focused. That's something that we value at Tapereal as well. The future, I think, is going to be sustainable, and people are going to want platforms that are not going to result in them burning out um, and get into this hamster wheel of just creating endless pieces of content. And I think the future is going to be more meaningful. And recently I posted something on LinkedIn. What's old is new again, and I think
Hmm.
in the old days, that's what was valued, and that's what we, uh, I think, as human beings, we long for that now. And in a post-pandemic world, we're seeing a shift towards that type of human behavior, and so we need a platform that can actually address that, which is why we're
Love
we're
it.
building Tapereal.
Yeah, I agree. It's interesting that everything that you are saying concerns all products. What any companies need to do to create something new, to have their unique selling proposition, their benefits, unique features. So yeah, uh, I am pretty sure that Tapereal will have a shiny future, because with your
Thank you.
attention about that, with your concern about that.
Yeah.
Yeah. And mm, tell our audience how they can reach out to you, learn more about you, follow you. And we know about April. Guys, just go to the social media, register. And if they want to ask something new, how to reach out to you?
Sure. So you can download Tapereal. I'm on the platform. You can follow me. My username is at Ali, and I post my thoughts, in some random moments from my day. Sometimes if I'm reading a book, I'll try and summarize certain key points in there, and so I'm trying to create some high value content, um, and if you want to engage with me there, you can leave me an audio comment. If you We also have this chat feature where you can actually send me a direct message if you have any questions about the platform. Please feel free to reach out. So I have to promote my own platform first, but other than that, if you want to connect with me on LinkedIn
Mhm.
for professional purposes, that's the second platform that I use most often. The other platforms, while I used to post on there, I realized that if I want to grow Tapereal, I have to focus on our own community first. And so
Mhm.
posting on all these other platforms is just going to take time away from Tapereal itself. So I'm not as active on the other platforms. You can try and message
Mhm.
me there, but my response time might not be as high.
Mhm.
But yeah,
Okay.
check out the app, download it. I'll follow you back. We can grow this together, and let's build the future that we all want to live in.
Love it, love it. Okay, guys, you can find tapereel.com in the description below. Connect with Ali on LinkedIn, learn from him, ask him any questions about Tapereel. And thanks again for your time. A big pleasure to get on my show, to learn from you. You always share a lot of value, some unique ways how to grow today, how to get results. Guys, listen us on Apple, Google, Spotify, and see you next time.
Thank you for having me on the show,